Thank you, Missy.
You're welcome. Because I've noticed since they've done it, something definitely is wonky with it because I can't scan anymore septic plans. And although I don't know if no, it's not because of the move because I scan things, but I'm also missing documents and everything that I scan from the copier to my email automatically goes into the, what do you call it? Scam, file. So I just recently found that out. So I think I don't know what the deal is. So
Yeah, I see something here dated 8/19 from Mendon email from Laura. So
yeah,
I'll open that up later and see if I can figure it out.
okay.
But thank you. It's probably on both ends then. It's probably partially on my side and partially on the town's side. But we'll figure it out.
Like I got an email from Margaret Bacon, and it went into my junk email, and she was just replying to my email. So it's I don't know.
So we essentially have new emails now with the new format. I don't know if you realize that or not.
Yeah, it's definitely
Did
one.
not.
Yeah, so because of
Hi, Tom.
now we're quote unquote, hey, how you doing, Alan? How you doing, Missy?
Not too shabby.
Is Andy on?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Andy, how are you?
good. And you, Tom?
Good. Yeah, so essentially because of the change, we basically have a new identity up on the cloud with regard to our email. So it's not exactly the same box anymore, per se, that we used to check. There's actually a new link that you actually have to now go to. Because what I found was that the any new email had stopped as of like the 19th or the 20th when they started the migration. And they all ended up in the new box in the new location.
Okay, Andy, I have 701.
Go ahead.
Just so I'll read the little spiel because we have people here tonight. So, as a preliminary matter, this is Missy Cackle of Boisvert. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Andy?
Here.
Alan?
Yeah.
Tom?
Present.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Tom Ryder, Board of Health Engineer.
Here.
And anticipated speakers on the agenda, please respond in the affirmative. Margaret Bacon of Civil Site Engineering. Hi, Margaret, I can see you. Good evening. This is the open meeting of the Mendon Board of Health. This is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020. Due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of the public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely as long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the Board of Health is convening in telephone conference/video conference via Microsoft Teams meeting as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join the meeting. For Zoom meetings, please note that we're not really in Zoom, so all supporting materials have been provided to members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair knows otherwise. We are now turning to the first item of the agenda. Before doing so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. The chair will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to communicate to other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. With that, I'll turn it over to Andy. The first thing on the agenda is anything on COVID-19. We also have One Western Circle. We also have the Town Hall complex septic system, and then going over the events of the Household Hazardous Waste Day that happened a couple of weekends ago. So with that, Andy, I'll turn it over to you.
One other thing, there was actually two other things, the scholarships and the noise complaint on the agenda.
The scholarship was once you told me who you wanted it to go to, that was it. That's what they had agreed on at the last meeting, so that's good.
Very good, thank you. So the COVID-19, we're still looking good in the state. Just today, they came out with changes in the testing, not the testing, but the thoughts that someone who is asymptomatic is not a carrier. They can't keep up. Tom, do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, it's a couple of general commentaries and questions. I don't know if we want to kind of address them as we discuss the topic, or let me kind of line them all up front. But just overall, I'm in agreement where overall the state's doing very well. More locally, I've noticed our surrounding communities are doing very well. We're in a very good area. And looking at the information the state provides for not only our town, but in surrounding towns, there's either no relative change in case counts or positivity levels, or they've been lowered over recent days and or weeks. A couple of exceptions in there, but in terms of percentages, pretty much everyone's been running below that 2% mark for the most part. Most of them are under 1%, which is great. So from our general community perspective and in the town of Mendon, we're doing very, very well, which is good to see. Andy?
Misty, on that note, do you by any chance happen to know the numbers for our town currently?
Currently, throughout the time, we've had 32 positive cases. We currently do not have any active cases in Mendon and have not in a couple of weeks. Speaking of numbers, I just wanted to bring up one thing to you guys. I was speaking with the town administrator one day, and she said, "Oh, we have an active case." And I said, "Oh, okay, I haven't heard anything, but okay." She said Chief Kessler had texted her over a particular weekend. And so I talked to Ann and asked her what was going on. And Ann relayed to me that she lets Chief Kessler know when there's a possibility of one. So that way, if public safety has to go to that property, they're aware of it. But this particular case, I don't know if he told the town, I don't think he told the town administrator the address, but he said we had an active case, which ended up after Ann did her investigative work, come to find out the person does not live in Mendon. I think it went off to Worcester. So she was kind of a little bit upset because because if the town administrator is keeping her own count, it's not going to jive with the state, and rightfully so, because the state got, the state numbers that come out are the accurate numbers compared to what she might be tallying, because come to find out some of these people might not live in Mendon, And now they are actually a case for another town, so they're not going to be included in our numbers. So I just wanted to, since you guys were talking about numbers, let you guys know that.
Thank you. So have you, since that incident, which was a while ago, have you had any contact with Ann, any communications?
No, we talked, I think it was last Wednesday or Thursday. She said she was going to actually reach out to the chief and communicate her, I don't want to say fears, but you know, how she was feeling about that information going to the town administrator. So just so
Okay.
it was on the same page and people don't think we have these numbers that are creeping up when we don't.
Good news, thank you. Alan, do you have some thoughts on COVID?
Going to be very anxious to see in the next month with kids going back to school. I did talk with the assistant principal of Blackstone Valley Tech, and they have students coming back starting tomorrow. So I'm kind of watching and waiting and being very optimistic that things are going to go well and we're going to be able to creep a little closer to normal over the next month or 6 weeks. Other than that, heard some, rumors about some parties of 200 people, but not in our town, that had to be broken up. I'm optimistic that we're going to keep stepping towards some kind of normal. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Fingers crossed. I think that's it for comments on COVID.
Andy?
Well, I did have a couple other things, Andy, if you want to take the
Of
time.
course you did. Go ahead.
Of course. Well, I just wanted to, a couple of questions. I know with the advent of what the state has done, starting at the beginning of the month, with regard to kind of ramping up their enforcement statewide. I don't know if everyone's aware, they had created this cross-agency COVID enforcement and intervention team, whose primary responsibility was to get into the enforcement aspect of potential violations going on out there. Primarily, their job was to really focus on higher risk areas. Fortunately, we're not one of them. So a lot of you probably heard about those communities up on the North Shore area, such as Revere and Everett and Chelsea. Those are really the target areas. But just along that notation of enforcement, do we know if our health agent has had to take any actions against anyone with regard to not being compliant for some of the complaints that we might have received, fines or something like that?
Yes, he has. Are you aware of the Hideaway Pizza?
Yeah, I'm aware of complaints that have come regarding that establishment. Yeah.
Yes.
He went back in there about a week and a half ago now, and they were not wearing masks, and he issued a $200 fine. I've been in there twice since then, both on Saturday, a week apart, and that was after Lenny had been in there, and they are compliant. I can see right into the kitchen, and everybody's wearing a mask. Go ahead, Missy.
The other thing on that, they have paid the $200 fine. The other thing that Lenny had me reach out to the state asking whether or not it was true or false that those in restaurants in the kitchens had to wear masks, face coverings. And the response from Mike Coughlin was, he said it's false. However, we said that when the working conditions make it dangerous to wear a mask, it can be taken off. An example used is if someone is working over an open flame, i.e. gas stove, that leads, that has led to incorrect information. So that if you have someone in the kitchen working over an open flame or whatever, and they're getting warm and they need to take their mask off for a time period, that's okay. I guess that has now turned into, in some areas, that kitchen staff are exempt from having to wear a face covering, and that is incorrect. So we did get that clarified from the state.
Very good, thank you. Was there any response to the letter to the greenhouse? Has anything further happened to that? Has Lenny gone in there again?
I'm not sure how many times Lenny's gone in there, but I do know when the letter was written, Lenny was going to, because that is a non-COVID related issue. Lenny was actually meeting the property owner and supposedly, not the property owner, the restaurant owner, and they were supposed to be taking care of it right then and there. So no
Okay.
fines and no shutting down at this point in time.
Very good. Alan, any comments?
No, I'm good.
All right, thank you. Tom, any more?
I just had two others, one just a comment and a question. I don't know if you had all seen the email that came through from the Mendon Upton Youth Soccer Association to us. It was, I just wanted to just kind of give them a public acknowledgement for kind of reaching out to us to provide us information on the steps that they're taking as a group and, getting players, coaches, and parents back to the field. So I just want to give them a kudos for doing that to keep us in the loop. And the only other question I might have related to COVID might be, have we received any active engagement from the school side of things, Missy, in terms of seeking anything that they might need or any services they've been inquiring about?
No, the only thing I've gotten as far as the school side is I have I'm pretty sure I sent the email, forwarded it off to you guys. I can't remember if it was a teacher that is there. She was not happy that the school chose the way that they were going and wanted to know what the Board of Health, she had a whole bunch of questions. And basically, really, it boils down to, it's the school committee that decides. You can advise, you can put input, but the bottom line, it's the school committees that have the final say on how they're going to open. Now, I understand that some people might be upset that because we're in a low numbered area, the school has decided to go into the first month of school remote learning. And then I believe it's October 13th, they will start some sort of a hybrid, 2 days in, 3 days off, but they would be doing virtual. So it's really, a lot of schools have to come up with their plan. They did. And the only time, and I talked to Lenny about it, the only time that the board would really be able to shut a school down or make them change something is if all of a sudden we had a very high spike of some sort. So that's all I've heard as far as anything related to the schools.
Andy or Alan, did either of you happen to have an opportunity to see that email that came, that Missy is referring to?
I did not.
Okay.
I did.
Go ahead, Alan.
I did have an opportunity to see it. It was one of the last ones that I received before my system shut down. And I read about halfway through it. Again, Missy, is on the money from what I've been hearing on the news, that the school committee has the right to decide what they want to do. They're the governing body. So what they decide is, how it's going to happen or not happen. Back to you, Tom.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure probably at some point we should probably, if we need to discuss it or whatever, we should probably be able to submit a response back to the woman just to let her know, acknowledge that at least we received it, and if there's any insight we can give. But I would agree, Missy's kind of said it, where the direction's coming from and where the responsibility lies, so we can only do so much.
Sorry. If it helps you guys look in your past emails, it came in Wednesday, August 19th. And I'm just looking quickly to see if I had sent a response just saying thank you and we'd get back to you type of thing. But quickly, I'm not seeing it. So, but if you guys want to come up with a kind of response, that would be great. Looking real quick, I don't see anything. So yeah, that would be great if we came up with a response.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Sure.
And that concludes my COVID-19 questions, commentary. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
One Western Circle. I got an email from you, Missy, just before the meeting and read your text. I did read Tom's suggestions and descriptions. I could not open yours. I don't know why it would not open, but I'm assuming it was the same thing.
It would have been the attached septic plan. That's what I was.
The plan itself. Okay, I
Yeah.
could not open that.
Right.
Good evening, Tom Ryder. How are you?
I'm doing well today. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
Could you please give a description of the septic system at One Western Circle? First of all, Missy, did we receive the cards? All the neighbors have to be notified, right?
Yep. I would start off with Margaret. She is their design engineer for the applicant, and she probably could explain and let me know where the cards are as we're doing things a little differently because of COVID.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were there, Margaret. How do you do?
Pretty good. Y'all set?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I did send out a letter to all the abutters, and I've got about 3 of them back so far. I don't know, yeah, different boards are handling the green cards differently. I can always drop them off, but I haven't received them all back yet. And then I did also, I had to go through the Conservation Commission too, so all the abutters were notified then also. But if you want me to briefly go over this project and what I'm requesting, One Western.
Please.
Yeah, One Western Circle, it's an existing 1 or 2 bedroom house. I've designed it for a 2-bedroom because that's the minimum you can design it for. And I don't know if you're familiar with that area, but it's at the dead end street. It's a little house at the very end, very high groundwater there. And the soil's 30 minutes per inch perk rate. So between the high groundwater, the slow perk rate, and the on-site well and the neighbor's well, I'm kind of squeezed where I can put a septic system in that complies with Title V. So I do have one system into the left of the house. It's a Presby system. I use the Presby Advanced, which gives you a little more protection. And because I'm within 100 feet of our own well, I have to ask for a waiver / variance to the depth of groundwater. So instead of 4 feet to groundwater, I'm asking for a waiver to 3 feet. And then I'm also asking for a waiver to be just a little over 50 feet from our on-site well. And if you do have the plan in front of you, you'll see I'm squeezed between our well and then the neighbor's well to the right. I'm able to stay 100 feet away from all the neighbors' well. It's just our own well that I can't, get any more than 50 feet. Actually, I think I'm like maybe 51 feet. And then I have wetlands all around the side of the property. So in an effort to, right now I've got the system is a raised system. Even with 3 feet to groundwater, it's a raised system. And the top of my system is almost a foot over the top of concrete. So I really don't want to go any higher with it than the existing house. You can picture
Margaret, I just ask you a question about that house before we go any further. Just a quick thought. a few years ago, our health agent and I responded to a complaint from the neighbors. It was owned by a bank, and it was really quite deplorable conditions in there with the suspicion of vermin. Has the house been sold? Is somebody living there, or is this for the bank?
No, this is actually somebody bought it who's fixing it up and then going to sell it. So the last time I looked in it, pretty much the inside was all gutted.
Okay, good. They cleaned the mess up.
In a little while, but yeah, the whole house was gutted. He was redoing the whole thing.
Excellent. Good news. Thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt.
no problem.
So that all sounds good. I read your email, Tom. Do you have any thoughts on this that you could share with us on this, please?
Yeah, so basically the letter I sent over was, this is a 1 or 2 bedroom, so a deed restriction because the design is for 2 bedroom would be required, informing on the deed that it's a 2 bedroom design. But to go beyond a Presby system, to do a more active treatment, I don't think this is, a case for this type of property. It's a 1-2 bedroom minimum flow. They've utilized Presby and maximized the size and offset to the wells. So this is not a case where I'd say it's beneficial to go beyond a Presby. So that was a point I wanted to make, because I don't want to discourage the Board of Health in the future from seeing something, 3-4 bedrooms, from saying, hey, look at the FAST system or look at another system. This is all well and good to look at, but this is a case where minimal flows, it could be considered manifestly unjust to not approve it based upon that. And that's up to the board to figure that out. But equivalent environmental protection, like Margaret was saying, this is a Presby. They're allowed to go to a 2-foot offset to groundwater as a local upgrade. However, this is a case where you combine it with their own private well. So that's why we're thrown into the variance category. Other than that, I mean, this is typically a good plan that Margaret always puts out. So I always want to throw her, good accolades for that. So, I think this is good to go.
Very good. Thank you, Tom. Could I have a motion, please, pending receipt of the cards for the certified mail to the neighbors? Could I have a motion, please, Tom?
Well, I'll make the motion to accept the recommendation put forward by Tom Ryder as outlined in his letter or memo dated August 26th, as so written.
I'm sorry that I did not ask Tom or Alan. I apologize. First of all, are you guys in agreement? I am. I'm assuming that you two are in agreement. I apologize. Are you in agreement, Tom?
I would be in agreement, and I would follow suit with Tom's recommendation.
Thank you. Alan?
Yes, and I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Margaret, thank you very much.
All right, thank
Just
you.
one question.
Yeah,
Just one question. Sorry, and I may have missed it at the beginning. I didn't get what Margaret's role in connection with this project is, who the affiliation is that she's with?
Design engineer.
Design engineer. Okay, great.
Yeah. Actually, there's also
Thank you, Margaret.
before you leave, Margaret. So there's a standard deed restriction paperwork. I'm not sure who would put that together.
I'm familiar with that. I can put it together for the applicant, and then I can submit that when we submit the as-built. The part of the requirement for the COC is to make sure that deed restriction gets recorded.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
They can do it before the as-built, but I'm fine with the as-built coming in with it, just as long as we all remember.
Okay.
Margaret, would you please get together with Missy at some point to find out how she would like you to deliver those cards, please?
Okay,
Thank you.
very good. Thank you.
Very good. Town
That's-
Hall. Go ahead, Missy.
So that item is taken care of. Don Moran is on, so we will go next to the town hall septic complex. I know there were some issues back in January, then COVID-19 hit, and I know Annie just wants to make sure that whatever issues with the septic system, we just don't forget about it. So with that, Andy, I don't know if you want to turn it over to Don so he can, give you guys kind of an update. I know there's some other issues that have happened. I believe that have been kind of fixed, but it's up to you how you want to handle it.
Good timing, Don. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the meeting. If you could, please, the most recent issue, it sounds to me from your emails that it's been taken care of and we don't really need to beat a dead horse on that one. Just a fast forward on that, if you could, please, and then the description of the pipe too low. And we have Tom Ryder, our Board of Health engineer, on the call also. Over to you, Don.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Don Moran, 36 Crestview Drive. So, let me just recap how we got to here. So, as you're probably aware, both the town well and that septic ejector pump system is backed up with the generator that's on the town hall campus. It used to be at the old fire station. When we started building the new police station, we had to take that generator offline. We put a temporary generator in place. So there's one sitting next to the old police station that's currently supporting the septic and the well. So back in January, they were doing some work. And as Missy stated, we discovered some issues with the existing septic. What the work was that the new police station had to do is, because the town hall runs off 230 volt single phase power, and the new police station, which will have the new generator, runs on 208 volt 3-phase power, they needed to replace the pumps in that ejector system. So that was done. The control panel that supports that system was moved from the current police station to the new police station. And over the last few weeks, it alarmed a few times. It turns out that there's a problem with one of the pumps. So we had actually the engineer out there today. The plumber is coming back out next week to replace the pump. So you're right, Andy, there's nothing that you need to do with the ejector pump system. That really falls under the purview of the police station building committee at this point. However, if you remember back in January when we started the work on the septic, we were connecting the police station up to the septic system, and the old pipe that used to go to the old fire station was being removed, and basically the septic backed up into the parking lot. There was sewage everywhere. So we had Gibson come out. They pumped it, they cleaned up the area, and they made a comment in passing that said, oh, this is a known problem. The town has known about this forever. The inlet is lower than the outlet. And you're always going to have problems like this until that's fixed. And the town knows about it. They just haven't taken action on it. I forwarded that over to you. And as Missy said, because of COVID and everything, I haven't followed up. So I just wanted to make sure, one, is that a true statement? And two, if it is, it's on your, it's not something that came up from the police station. We discovered it and it was said in passing, but I just wanted to make sure it's something that if it needed follow-up, you guys were going to take care of it. Turn it back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Don. Is the area around the tank, did you say that's in the pump chamber or in the tank?
So the issue that I'm bringing up now is in the septic tank itself.
Okay, that's what I thought. So is the area around that tank paved and finished yet?
No.
Okay, mint. Because if we need to get in there, that's I want to get this taken care of if in fact one pipe does need to be lowered or if you lower the outlet, then you're going to affect the pump chamber also. It needs to be investigated. We need to check this out and make sure that it's fixed properly, because it's my understanding that when it backs up, it goes up the pipe into the bathroom, not necessarily into the bathroom, but all the way to the bathroom in the area where Missy and Gail are. I don't know that there's been any issues where they've had any backflow into the building, but talking with John Gibson, that's it's been a concern. And Missy is aware of, there's been some issues there before, correct, Missy?
I mean, I guess there's been issues in the former Taft Library. The only thing that John ever told me was something about a bent pipe. But I don't know if he ever passed that on to the selectmen, because technically the selectmen are the property owners. So you're just the enforcement. So if something needs to be corrected, whoever, I just think the board needs to formulate some kind of a letter to the selectmen to make sure whatever is wrong is fixed.
Tom Ryder, could you comment on this, please?
Well, I'm in agreement with you, Andy, regarding, let's see if there's a difference in the inlet outlet. Is it like somebody reversed the tank, put the outlet on the wrong side? It's something that needs to be taken a look at first, but I'm kind of scratching my head a little bit. If that would only be like a 3-inch difference. There should be plenty of head on the inlet side to overcome it eventually before it backs into a building. So is there something else going on that, maybe the pipe is not pitched from the building itself as well? Do we have any as-built plans, Missy, to look at?
Yes, we do.
I mean, we can start with that and just, and the pavement's not complete, so we can take a look at that and just verify the elevation differences.
I'm assuming there's 2 covers on this tank, hopefully, and if there is, we should be able to shoot the inlet and the outlet, and that will give us the answer right there. There was a paper that I got from an email from the people that were doing the work on the police station. I think you were aware of it, weren't you, Tom? That showed the elevation difference on the inlet and the outlet. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I'd have to relook at that. You're talking to me, right?
Yes, I believe Missy still has it in email. She could send you another copy of it if you didn't get it.
I probably have it. Let me. I'll have to search for it. I just looked through my file and I didn't see it, so I might have not copied it into it.
I'm sure that Missy could get a copy of that out to you and Tom and Alan also, if they would like, so that we can all be on the same page with this. I just feel that it should be rectified prior to putting the bow tie on this project.
I definitely agree. Yeah.
Tom, do you have some comments on this, Tom Fickner?
Just that I would agree. I guess a question to Dawn from a project perspective, Dawn, and what's going on with the area and whatnot. Timing wise, would you say we're under any kind of particular time crunch to address this?
Yeah, this is not holding up the police station. This is, from my understanding, this has been this way for years. At least, again, we got this secondhand from Gibson, so I would follow up with them. And we have not seen any problems with backup. I don't know, is there a single inlet that all the buildings come in, or are there multiple inlets? Is it one of them? I don't know any of that. I don't even have the as-built or the existing septic, so I can't really comment on the extent of the problem. All I know is that sewage backed up when we were doing work there, and Gibson made the statement that there is a known problem. So I think it's really something like, Tom Ryder said, go look at it, take some shots, see what really the problem is. And then, as Missy said, maybe you need to approach the board and get some plan to address it.
Okay,
Missy, are
thank
you
you. I
in
just
the
wanted to make sure there wasn't anything particular from a project perspective that was at issue. But yeah, from a general perspective, BOH wise and us addressing it, yeah, I would say we should be addressing it ASAP.
Missy, are you in the office?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I am. And
Do
you
you
guys,
have access to that as-built easily? You don't have to go crazy.
yep, I've already sent it off to Tom Ryder, and I found Don's email from Friday, January 31st, and have sent it off to you guys.
Yep, just got it. Thank you.
Yeah, I have it too. I just got it. Thank you.
Just curious, in answer to Dawn's question, which is a great question, is there one inlet or is each, I would assume it's one, but you never know. Each building could have its own. It only shows one inlet. They're showing 300ths difference. Apparently, this Kessler Brothers must have shot this. Do you see that, Tom? There's 300ths difference between the inlet and the outlet. That's pretty much level.
So I see, this is the as-built, right? I'm seeing an existing 1,000 gallon septic tank and coming from the police station. It looks like this. Yeah, it looks, yeah, there is 3 inlets to the septic tank. And from, I don't see from the building, okay. Yeah, I don't see an elevation from the building. Do you see the building elevation?
Apparently, I didn't get the same email you did because I don't see any of that.
There's actually 2 separate ones. So I sent Tom a copy of the as-built so he would have it for his records. And then I forwarded off to all of you guys the email that Don had sent to us back in January.
All right, that's what I'm looking at. I don't see the as-built, Tom. I'm looking at the email. Tom, why would they be GGD recommends removal and replacement? I'm sorry. They say that the 6-inch baffle, the sanitary T baffle in the divider needs to be replaced. Why would they recommend that?
The baffle, maybe the baffle is falling in.
Could be.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be a 2 compartment, right?
Yes.
So it must be falling in. I haven't read that yet, so.
That's the one I'm looking at, the profile of the tank.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay, I see okay. I just opened up, I saw the tank. Yeah, so the inlet is 300ths, not even an inch higher than the outlet. And then there's a baffle. Recommended removal and replacement of the 6-inch baffle. And it doesn't have the elevations, but yeah, actually maybe it does.
I don't see it. Oh wait, 346.70.
346.70. So that's, well,
Can't be.
or maybe that's the top of the concrete. Okay. No, it's pointing to the baffle. Yeah.
That's proposed, probably, right? That's what was proposed for construction.
Well,
in red is actual.
Yeah, but even proposed shows it higher than the outlet. That's something. I'll definitely agree with removing and replacing, because that should not be higher than the inlet. No, 346.78. I'm sorry, 346.70. it shows to be like 1 inch below.
Should be 3 inches, shouldn't it?
Yeah, from the, yeah, it should be,
Same as the outlet?
yeah, it should be about the same as the outlet. But with a baffle. So right now it's, yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with remove and replace and make sure that it's not actually above the inlet. Because that
Could be causing the backup.
could be part of it, yeah.
If I could ask a question, Tom?
Yep.
The function of the baffle?
So if you have anything other than a single family septic system, you're required to have a 2-compartment tank, and the 2-compartment tank requires a PVC baffle, not a slot, but a baffle. So the baffle.
The actual function, the role that the baffle plays in the
Oh,
design.
the baffle, it's to keep the solids on the first section of the tank, which is supposed to be a 48-hour volume, and supposed to hold the solids in the front, and then allow the I guess less total suspended solids to go into the second compartment. So the baffle prevents the boiling of the sludge into the leach field. So that's the hopes of it. So if they replace that, they should put gas baffle on both on the outlet to the second compartment, and then check. It looks like there's a gas baffle on the outlet side to the leach field as well. So just make sure that they both have baffles on there. But that's the reason for it, just to make sure the sludge remains in that first compartment.
Okay, thank you. Maybe at 9 more years on the Board of Health, I'll know what that is.
It's not 100%, Tom. As it slows it down, more of the solids stay in the first chamber, and then some of the solids will actually get, ultimately you don't want them in there, but they will get to the second chamber. And then as they settle there, the effluent is separated from any fine particles. And then nowadays there's a thing called a Zabel filter, which grabs any particles. So what we're trying to do is have as close to clear water going out of the tank to the leach field. So it's a step process to help reduce the solids from going into your leach field.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Thank you.
It's a bigger and better idea. It's the shape of things to come. All right. So where we are right now, Tom, we're in agreement that by this photograph, and I'm assuming because we see 2 covers, that in fact this company did shoot the pipes, because they're giving us this in the red that shows existing. We should formulate a letter and send it to the selectmen and say, this is wrong and this is how it should be looking, instead of 300ths difference. Is that correct, Tom?
So, I mean, the only thing they're recommending is replacing the baffles. So, as far as less than an inch, I mean, I think we should talk about formulate, how to formulate the approval on it, on what we're trying to accomplish. So we have an outlet going to the pump chamber, and I'm looking for the as-built invert. They have 345/50. It seems like there would be plenty of pitch if they lower the outlet.
345/50 is what they're showing on the inlet of the chamber.
Of the pump chamber, yeah. There should be plenty of pitch.
Foot.
Yeah. So if they,
How
if
far
they,
away is it?
oh, it looks like maybe 15 feet.
Oh my
Well-
God, plenty of pitch.
Yeah. So they could actually lower that pipe a little bit too to make sure that the water does not back up so much.
And then replace the T. There should be being a 2-compartment tank, there should be a third manhole so the T could be accessed from the surface without going in there. What is the amount of cover on that tank, Tom?
Let's see, it has, going by the contours they have right here, it looks like the top is 349.50, and let's see, say 340, sorry, 346.9 plus 1.1. So it's about 1.5 feet over the
Cover.
tank. Yeah.
That's not bad. Missy, I can't open that second one again. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call World Band because something's up with, that plan was submitted. Yeah, that's something that's in my files. So if you're not able to open it up, something's wrong.
Okay. All right. Dawn, do you have any more comments with Tom's and my conversation?
Yeah, no, Andy, while the comment says to remove and replace the baffle, but if you read the paragraph above, it does recommend addressing the inlet and outlet as well. So they may not have explicitly stated it in that picture, but if you read the verbiage above, I think you're on the right. You're definitely addressing it correctly. That's all you need to do. I just want to make sure you guys were handling it, and it's nothing else I need to do at this point in time.
So
Yeah.
we will work on this, Dawn. I don't want to see this fall by the wayside. Tom Ryder, you had something to say?
Yeah, no, actually, as Don was saying, yes, I do see the note above the outlet T. Corrosion resistant baffle, like we were talking about, and yeah. So I think we can take a look at this and come to an agreement as noted in their request for information.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, if you need anything else from GGD or anything, actually Nathan Ketchel was actually on site today because we are still trying to finalize the ejector pump issue. So they're still engaged. If you need anything from them, let us know.
I think the one thing that I comment on is that even though this is not a fee-based permit, but it should just for protection go through the simple enough, just put together a quick application. And I think the office probably can help just to make sure that if anyone checks in the future, is like, yep, this has gone through a modification to a septic tank process. So just simple enough.
We could include that in our letter to the selectmen that in fact, this is a process that should be on file.
Yeah. And that way,
Okay.
10 years from now, when we take a look at it, like, hey, what happened? Oh, here's the application. Okay, makes sense, right? So
Very good. Dawn, thank you very much for your time. Before you go, Alan, do you have any thoughts or input or questions for Dawn, please?
No, all I'll say is, Dawn, thank you for bringing this to our attention. And I definitely follow along with everybody else that we recommend that this gets taken care of before any further paving or finishing happens. And I'm glad it won't hold up the police station project. So again, thank you for bringing this to our attention so that we can get it corrected.
Dawn, you already have a COO, don't you?
We already have a temporary certificate of occupancy, yes. It's pending 2 items. One, we're trying to, again, the ejector pumps, which we're pretty much finishing up, and we have another problem with the HVAC we're working. Actually, can I ask, I know it's not on the agenda, can I just ask another quick question, completely changing
Absolutely.
topics? As you know, the town well is failing, and they're trying to figure out if there's a way to go on a fast track with Mass DEP for drilling a new well. I don't know if you guys have any knowledge of that, or if you could help, because Dan Byer could certainly use some help.
Our Board of Health Engineer is an ex-DEP employee. He may have something to say about that.
Yeah, so who is the, you have an engineer who is providing the information?
So the current town, the public water supply on the town hall campus is underneath the elevator in the town hall, and the pump is failing. It has to be reset every few days. The pump is overheating and stuff. They're trying to replace it. They can't get the pump out. They've tried a 1-ton hoist. They basically cannot remove it. They believe it's like attached to the casing, and they just can't remove it. So the only solution right now is looking to drill a new well. We don't have any place to put it without, being within somebody's, either the butters or somebody else. So they're trying to work with they want to work with Mass DEP on some kind of a fast track process for a failing well. The understanding is from McClure Engineering is the engineering firm that's working with the town. They're of the opinion that there is a process to follow, but we haven't heard back from them, and we're wondering if there's anyone else that could help us navigate this process.
Oh, so Chris McClure, he's an ex-DEP guy too. So I have total confidence in them. I can reach out to McClure, see what's going on in the process. But yeah, so sometimes these older wells they need to be regenerated. They need to be cleaned out every once in a while, and sometimes the well actually collapses on top of the pump, or if it's connected to the casing, I would be surprised, but that could happen as well, I guess. But yeah, no, I have a couple people that could reach out to a DEP to see if we can fast track it and get in contact with Chris McClure.
Yeah, that would be
One
great.
of the biggest-
Chris, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Chris is actually the guy that's working it. So if you can just reach out and see if he needs any help, that would be great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yep.
One of the problems with that, Tom, is it's steel pipe and it's 400 or 700 feet deep, Don?
I do not know exactly that, Andy, unfortunately. Sorry.
And it's directly under the elevator shaft, so they cannot get a crane, or anything in there to hoist it out. So they, as Don stated, the 1-ton lift was not enough for all that weight. So and there probably is hooked up. So that well, from everybody that I've talked to that's worked on it, Richardson's, Todd Broder, the recommendation is to drill a new well someplace where it's smart outside where we can get at it. The thing is, it's going to be a PWS because of all the places that it supplies. So that takes a whole different approach on the criteria.
Okay. All right. Do we have a look? Maybe I can talk with Missy on finding the location, because we're gonna have to make sure that all, basically DEP likes to make sure that all the land within 400 feet is controlled by the entity of the town, for example, and that all septic systems are at least 400 feet away.
That won't happen.
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much time in the meeting, but the understanding is we're probably going to need to approach the abutter for an easement. We actually have already have an easement in place for the police station for some other issues. The abutter is very willing to work with us, so I think that can be worked, at least the abutter to the south. But yeah, I don't want to overload your meeting. Maybe we talk about this some other time offline, Andy. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No, we're good, Don. One quick thing before you go. Any deadline on when we're going to take that building down?
Actually, the way it looks now is we expect to have the police moved into the new building in the next couple of weeks. The project then gets turned back over to Kim Newman for demo and complete site work. It's my understanding, and I don't know how much you're aware of this, but the town is currently negotiating the services of dispatch, and dispatch currently cannot be moved from that building probably until the end of the year. So that building probably won't come down till next year.
Yeah, okay, just so I was privy to most of that, but that's all good, and it's my understanding it's gotta go out to bid now too, right?
Yeah, Kim has to follow the proper guidelines.
Sure. Yeah.
So, okay.
Thank you, Don. Have a good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for your time,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Don.
Bye.
Much appreciated.
All right. What have we got next? The noise complaint, Tom Ryder. This is the noise complaint that you called me about. I recently asked Missy, has anything ever come of it? When I did speak with Lenny about it, he said that requires a first of all, he said that's falls under the purview of the DEP. I said, well, my conversation with Tom Ryder, he said that the DEP has put it on the local boards of health. And he said, okay, we need a decibel meter. We do not have one. And from my knowledge, this situation got dropped, which I don't feel right about for the neighbor that's suffering from this. Have you had any updates on anything like that, Tom Ryder?
So I haven't spoken to Michelle Delamar a while on regarding this. I did leave her a message that I actually went by the property to listen in on it. I was at the street level and I didn't hear anything. The AC unit may have been off at the time. So I think the thing to do is a follow up to see if is there a continual problem. The other thing too is I was going through my notes, and not that this is any discouraging of responding to the complaint, but these two neighbors have been battling each other regarding drainage issues and other things too. So
that could be an underlying problem causing this complaint.
Yeah, so I think the thing to do is if we could maybe schedule a follow up. Maybe to check on it again. But at the time that I did my inspection, I don't have the date that I went out there, but it was during one of the hot days, not one of the first hot spells that we had. I think it might have been July. Might have been in July.
So chances are it should have been on at that time if it was that warm.
Yeah.
Okay. Tom Fichtner, are you aware of this situation and the conversation with this address and everything?
Somewhat. It's at the beginning I didn't, and then as you were talking, it rang a bell that we've discussed this before with regard to this being two neighbors and an air conditioner being involved, and so I kind of privy to the general gist of it.
Okay. I was in conversation with Missy last week. I asked her about it, and I said, I think we should discuss this again and make sure that this just doesn't get dropped, because they were adamant that there was an issue. Alan, are you familiar with the situation?
No, I am not.
Okay. Missy, could you please, Missy or Tom, tell Alan the address and what the situation is? Tom Ryder is, Tom, could you please tell Alan the address and the situation, please?
I'm actually looking for the address right now.
Do you have it, Missy?
I believe it's 47 Cape Road. I just don't care. I don't remember if 47 is the property making the complaint or if it's the address that is being complained on. Hold on, because I'm pulling it up. Yeah, I don't. Why don't I see? Yeah, it's not coming up by address real quick. I'd have to find the owners. Hold on.
So Alan, just for now, until either one of them finds the information, one neighbor put an air conditioning unit in its residential, and I'm assuming it's the one that goes on the ground like mine with the mini splits. It's got the compressor outside. It could be either one. It doesn't matter. But anyways, it was a new application, and apparently this air conditioning unit was extremely loud, and they've filed a complaint by email asking for help in rectifying this situation. And as you just heard, when Tom reached out to me, I reached out to Lenny, and you heard the conversation. And unfortunately, it got dropped by the wayside, and I didn't want to see that happen. I wanted to see, is there something we can do? Did it, was it rectified? But now this is the first that I've heard that there was a Hatfields and McCoys going on at it. So that's that. Do you find it, Missy?
I believe it's 47 that is making the, 47 is making the complaint. So it's 45 that is the property the complaint is being made about.
Does that help, Alan?
Yes, it does, and I appreciate it. I know that the residences in that section are fairly close together as far as being side by side. So whatever we got to do to follow it up in some fashion, even if it's something we can't fix. I agree with you. We don't want to let it go by the wayside. Thank you for the update.
Yeah. So the resident is Justin De Silva, and he sent over a YouTube video. And by the YouTube video, it is loud. It's amazingly loud. So I think he emailed that over. And
you have that video, Tom?
I do.
Can you email that?
Yeah. Yep. Let me.
What was the date on the first complaint? Do you see that? Do you see it, Missy?
June 24th.
Yeah, it's been quite a while, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then so I went out and I went out at the end of June.
Even at, I believe it's the beginning of July. The email that I got from you, Tom, is dated July 10th.
July 10th.
You contacted Michelle again, like you've been in contact with her.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I might have swung by twice. Okay. Let me forward you off the email, the YouTube. As soon as I get my. So.
I'm very surprised that a new construction unit is making any noise at all. I know any of my clients. Yeah, any of my clients that have put units in the last couple of years, I can't even tell they're running.
Yeah, that's one of the things I mentioned is that this could be a suggestion for a warranty item because it shouldn't be. There's perhaps something wrong with the bearings or something.
All right. Any ideas? Any thoughts on actions, Tom? Further actions? I mean, we haven't heard from these people. Apparently, they're saying, "Well, Board of Health is useless, and I don't want that." Any ideas what we should do?
Let's. Why don't we schedule we'll probably wait for like a warmer day, but maybe we can schedule for at least to maybe sometime, actually tonight, this week's gonna be is cooler, right?
Yes,
Um, follow up with a projected warmer week and just swing by. Maybe contact Mr. De Silva and see if he's still experiencing it. That I went by a couple times. I didn't hear it from the street. I didn't approach anybody. I was pulled over, got out, and just listened. Didn't hear at the time, but it could have been off.
yeah, could have been cycled.
Yeah.
All right. Tom Fickner, do you have any thoughts on this issue?
Well, to date, aside from your visits, Tom, sounded like we have sent written notifications, at least one to this resident. Is that correct?
No, I didn't send anything. Missy, did you send anything? I didn't send anything. I don't think Lenny sent anything either, right?
We haven't sent any formal notification to the property that is being complained on, if that's the question, Tom. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the question. And so with our attempts, we just haven't been able to make contact with the owner of this property who has this supposedly loud air conditioning unit. Is that correct?
My understand, yeah, it's basically you gotta have proof of it. And I mean, the email noise complaint that Tom just sent out, if you want to listen to that. But someone from the board or Tom or Lenny should verify that this is truly happening, and that's what I would have been waiting for as far as trying to do some kind of a letter to the property owner, is that having someone from the board, Lenny or Tom, witnessing it and then saying, hey, we've got a complaint, you've got to do blah, 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 or whatever the case may be.
Well, I would think in order to verify that the complaint is accurate outside of the existence of this YouTube video, and I don't know if the video itself, I haven't looked at it yet, but if those who have seen it can say that that YouTube video definitely depicts an issue, that would be evidence. But prior to that, I would think we would have done some reach out, whether it be by a phone call or by a letter of some kind, not accusational, just simply saying that, because we have to follow through on complaints that we receive, that it's, we received this complaint and we're just here to kind of talk with you and just determine if there is an issue that does warrant some attention. Yep.
And like Alan was saying too, regarding that, these things shouldn't be happening. So perhaps there is a manufacturer or other operational problem with the unit that the person who has a unit is, should be receiving, some sort of guarantee back too. So it's not, so whether it's a complaint or not, I mean, this guy may be owed something, or at least
irrespective of what might be causing the problem, the point I'm trying to make here is that our board, our office, has received a formal complaint from a resident, and as such, we need to respond accordingly to that complaint. Again, not trying to be overbearing and accusatory toward the individual, but just simply responding. And I think it's important. We should have made contact with this person a long time ago.
Correct.
Well, I think if that's the case, then we should draft something up and probably to the probably have like a nice, like warm and fuzzy letter to the person who's being complained upon, to check to see if we can come by and listen and see if it's making a loud sound, and whether he's actually heard from his neighbor, and whether he and then find out if we can take any mitigating steps. Yeah, like you
Yeah,
said,
I would think a letter is, a good approach. I just don't know if at this stage, 2 months have gone by. And if it's just maybe even an easier approach and direct approach might also maybe include simply a phone call, to the resident. Even if you don't get the resident personally, you can at least say, okay, we reached out, we have left a message, that type of thing, and maybe in addition to a formal letter.
Missy,
Yep,
could you forward Tom the phone number, please?
I don't have a phone number, but I will check the town clerk to see if there's one on file.
I have Mr. De Silva's number here. Actually, it looks like his work telephone number.
Is Tom looking for the number for the property that, Justin is the one that's making the complaint. I think Tom is asking for a phone number of the people that are being complained on. Right, Tom?
Yeah,
Other way around.
Yeah,
Okay,
so that we could actually call those folks and try to have a discussion if possible.
Okay, I will see if the town clerk has a phone number for them.
Okay,
yeah. Meanwhile, I think, Justin he's the one he sent it, he went right to the DEP on the noise question. And Michelle Delamar, he's the one who got in touch with us, but she forwarded me the email, so I have his work phone number too. So,
Yeah, I made that recommendation to Justin to contact Mass DEP
oh,
because
okay.
when he made the complaint and I talked to Lenny, and Lenny told me what he said, and so he was looking for more guidance. I said my only suggestion right now, the health agent's not around, because I believe that was also the week, somewhere around when Lenny took some time off also. I recommended to him to contact because we don't have whatever this meter Lenny was talking about. So I figured the next best choice, I gave him the phone number of Mass DEP in Worcester and told him maybe he might want to reach out to them and maybe they would be able to help with whatever that machine that was being talked about.
Yeah, so maybe, maybe if we can't get a noise meter, maybe DEP has one that we can borrow, if that's the case. But yeah, I could also reach out to Mr. De Silva and just say that we're still on track with this. His whole point was, when making the complaint, was I thought I could, he put it in last summer. I thought I could cope with it, but right now I can't. So that's why I'm reaching out. So he thought he was under the opinion that he could, but if you listen to the YouTube does show it to be loud. I just haven't witnessed it yet. But it would be good to probably reach out to both of them, make sure that we don't put them in the same room together, but just, we're from the government, we're here to help, type of thing. So,
isn't that an oxymoron, Tom?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right. So, Tom, would you formulate a letter? Tom Peckner, would you formulate a letter or Missy or somebody?
Sure, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I'll put something together and put it out to the board and Missy and get your feedback and see how it looks and how we want to tweak it. Sure.
Thank you.
Yep. Just one comment. I know, Missy, what you had said and why you referred them to the DEP. I would think just as a matter of protocol, only because we advertise on our website that noise complaints is something that falls under BOH purview. We maybe should have maybe just have done the reach out to DEP ourselves and try to have gotten some info without deflecting the person out there. Just as a notation. No biggie.
Okay.
I'm looking online right now. Decibel meters are anywhere from $75 to $300. We have the money in our budget. We should probably have some options and vote on which one we want, and maybe have one in our coffers, if you guys agree. Alan, any thoughts on all this? Cricket.
Sorry about that. I'm my fingers are fat. Yeah, no, I agreed. If I'm curious as to how tense the relationship is between these two neighbors, because I would hate to escalate anything by reaching out to the property owner who has the AC unit that is suspect to making noise. But you know, if we, I mean, we're going to have Indian summer. So even though, you know, it's cool right now, I'm sure people aren't shutting their air conditioning off for the season yet. So maybe we will have an opportunity to, you know, witness the noise if it is noisy. The other thing is, Tom Ryder, if you could maybe make a note of when you think you were there, just so that when we do comprise some kind of a response, we can give an idea of, you know, when you did go out and investigate it, where some time has gone by that we've been working on this. So that the two dates that you, or approximate dates that you responded to try to investigate this, I think should be part of the letter. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right. Is this all for the conversation on this matter from anybody? I think
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Tom Ryder, any other additional thoughts?
No, I can reach out first to the person who made the complaint, just to let him know that, you know, that we're taking a look at it if he wants to proceed, or has it already been corrected before we send out a letter. So the case may be that it's corrected and they're having social distancing cookouts now or something. Or maybe it's a nope, it's keeping me up at night. So we can I'll first reach out to him. I'll give him a call tomorrow.
You'll take care of that for us, Tom?
Yeah, I'll give him a call. Yeah, and then I can tell Tom whether or continue with the letter. Yeah.
That'd be great. Thank you very much for that. All righty. That's it for this topic. The scholarships was taken care of. Last meeting, which I was not able to attend, did you all discuss the hazardous waste day, Missy?
I believe they talked about it a little bit. It was you and Tom that attended it. I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to add to it.
We did have a cop, but the vehicles didn't even make it past the first building, so it was safe. That's it. We're all good. So if anybody has anything else to add to the meeting, please speak up. Tom?
Howard, just to confirm, so the final decision with our scholarship award winners, so what were the two individuals that were chosen? In terms of, if you want to give names or just give initials?
Hold on, I gotta look them up.
Okay, thank you.
Alan, do you have any thoughts while she's looking?
The only thing that I was curious is, I feel as though I'm a little out of the loop. Last meeting, we were talking that Governor Baker had tightened up on the number of people for gatherings. We were at 10 for private property and 50 for outdoor. I was curious if those numbers have changed.
I don't have that.
Not to my knowledge, it hasn't changed. As far as the scholarships, if you want me, do you guys want me to give the names?
Sure.
I'm okay with it.
Rachel Dunleavy and Allison Shepherd.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty. If everybody's all set, yeah, Missy, do you have any other thoughts or questions or anything?
Nope, just to schedule your next meeting. Tentatively, it should be September 9th. I'm going to take that week off, so that's up to you guys when you meet next.
16th is fine.
Okay, September 16th.
Alan, Tom, any thoughts?
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good with that also.
Thank you. Could I have a motion, please?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Tom? Thank you. Tom Ryder, thank you very much for all your input and all your help.
All right, have a good
Yeah,
week.
thank you, Tom.
Thank you all.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Thank you all. Good night.
Tom Ryder, if you could give me a call tomorrow.
Good.